The Royal Rumble to me is the most exciting WWE PLE of the year. It's my favorite one. Always look forward to maybe the surprise factors if it happens, or just who's going to win, who you're going to see pop up. Just the atmosphere of the Royal Rumble is always very exciting. And for the first time in my life, I will be attending a Royal Rumble live in person. I've been to WrestleMania, I've been to SummerSlam, never been to a Royal Rumble though, and that's my favorite PLE of the year, so I'm super excited for it. So today, we are going to be talking about Royal Rumble stuff, and I'm going to be making my predictions of who I think is going to be a part of this match for the men and the women. Gonna drop some surprise factors, maybe some big returns as well, and obviously people on the current roster. One thing you also have to understand about the Royal Rumble, which I think gets talked about every year because it's a hot topic, right? Not everything has to be a surprise factor. The Royal Rumble never used to be based off that anyway. Like, yes, you may have had surprises back in the day here and there, but some of the best Royal Rumbles you've ever seen didn't have surprises in it, and that's okay. So if nothing like crazy happens in the Royal Rumble for the men or the women, doesn't mean the Royal Rumble bombed, doesn't mean that it sucked. Surprise factors don't necessarily always have to be a thing in the Royal Rumble. They have a stacked enough roster right now where they can fill in every single spot for people to be in the Royal Rumble match, and I think it would be totally fine. With that being said, I do think there are going to be quite a few surprises for the Royal Rumble this year, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Before we dive into this conversation, please make sure to subscribe, like, share, comment below, turn on all notifications to be updated with all wrestling content related right here on this channel. And of course, to be updated when we go live every single Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern time zone for the No Name Wrestling Podcast. Man, we do allow the viewers and subscribers to come on the podcast from time to time to chat and engage with us during the open mic episodes. So if you're looking for that type of engagement and you're a fan of the podcast, this is the platform you're looking for. My honorable mentions for the women are Mickie James, AJ Lee, Masa Slamovich, and Julia. I could see possibly some of these people being in that match, but they're not going to be people that I'm going to predict to be in this match. So these are already all the women we already know that are for sure going to be in the Royal Rumble match right here. So all these women are already a lock. For the rest of the people that haven't been officially announced yet that I think are going to be in there, Raquel Rodriguez, I definitely think is going to be in there because she's attached to Liv Morgan. So if Liv Morgan's in there, don't see how Raquel's not in there. Zelina Vega, I feel like is going to be in there, and Michin, which I'm always still hesitant to call her Mia Yim, so I have to remember that it's Michin now. But Michin, I also think is going to get a spot in the Royal Rumble. All three members of the Pure Fusion Collective, Shayna Baszler, Sonya Deville, and Zoe Stark, I think are all going to be in the Royal Rumble. I definitely feel like there's going to be some people from NXT a part of the Rumble, and I think there's going to be 4 spots, and these are the 4 superstars I think that are going to be in it. So Ruka, Kalani Jordan, Jada Parker, and Stephanie Van Kier, I think are all going to get spots in the Royal Rumble this year. Other superstars I think will be in it, Roxanne Perez, and I think this is going to be her official call-up on the main roster, debuting in the Royal Rumble on the main roster, even though she's been in past Royal Rumbles, but the official debut of her on the main roster I think is going to happen in this year's Royal Rumble. And I also think Candice LeRae is going to be in it, Lyra Valkyria and Chelsea Green as well, who are the 2 mid-card champions right now for WWE. Now let's talk about some surprise factors, returns, or new debuts. So I'm going to start with Lay Cool. I think Lay Cool is going to return and be a part of the Royal Rumble. I had Layla on the podcast that I'm a part of, the No Name Wrestling Podcast, and Layla did say that she was now open to not only returning to WWE, but being a part of the Royal Rumble and having like a reunion with Michelle McCool and reuniting Lay Cool. That kind of went viral all over Twitter, and Michelle McCool responded to it and said that she was down for it, and they kind of exchanged things back and forth. I think this is going to be in the works. I think Michelle McCool and Layla are going to be in the Royal Rumble. I also think Jordynne Grace is going to make her official debut in WWE as a WWE superstar, debuting in the Royal Rumble on the WWE brand. And I think Gail Kim from TNA and WWE have this collaboration, and Gail Kim hasn't been seen in WWE for quite some time for, past reasons, but anybody can really come back to WWE. It's been shown to happen. Like, business is business, and people have always been able to squash business and make amends with WWE. I feel like Gail Kim, because of what she meant to TNA wrestling, and she's a past WWE superstar that is recognizable, I feel like she's going to be the TNA superstar that's going to get the spot in the Royal Rumble. And to officially cap it off, man, I feel like these other 4 women right here are going to be surprise factors. Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, Nikki Bella, and Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill I feel like is an easy layup. I feel like she's definitely going to return at the Rumble to either confront Bianca or Naomi as like one of the 2 people that attacked her, or to continue like the investigation of like who did this to me type stuff. Nikki Bella, ever since making that appearance on Raw for the first episode of Netflix, there have been some strong rumors about her possibly gearing up for a big comeback. I think the rumors are getting very strong, so I see it happen, so I'm going to predict that right there. And then Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss, I would thoroughly be shocked, honestly, if neither of them are in this Royal Rumble match. I strongly believe both of them are going to be in this match. Now let's switch over to the men's side, right? For my honorable mentions, I have The Rock, Trick Williams, Lubit Kaiser, and Chad Gable. I got to keep The Rock's name alive in the conversation, so I'm going to throw his name in the hat as an honorable mention just because he's really like an anomaly, so you never really know with him. Trick Williams, I actually don't think he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. I know a lot of people do, but they're still teasing like he's not really done with Obafemi, so I don't think he's coming up to the main roster, and I think there's going to be a different NXT superstar part of this match. So these are all the superstars that have been declared for the men's Royal Rumble right here. So we know all these superstars are a lock right here, and these are all the people that are officially going to be in the match so far. So for other people that haven't been announced, I'm going to say Jey Uso, Dominic Mysterio, and Jimmy Uso. Now, they did declare Jey Uso for the Royal Rumble, but then he had that match against Gunther for the World Heavyweight title, so I'm just going to put him in, the other category of not being declared yet because they kind of backtracked, but I still think he's going to be in the match along with everybody else in this photo. I'm going to put Andrade, Sheamus, and Braun Strowman also in the mix to be in this match. I'm also going to say Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Penta will also be a part of this match as well, and we know Finn Balor's not winning. Other superstars I definitely think are going to be a part of this match: Carmelo Hayes, Logan Paul, and Braun Breaker as well. And listen, this might be a hot take. Not even really a hot take, honestly. I feel like this is just people who just don't like Logan Paul and don't want to see it happen. But listen, don't be surprised if Logan Paul is in that final four, final three of that Royal Rumble. I'm not saying he'll win, but don't be surprised if he makes it pretty far. Can't really call them the new bloodline anymore because that's dead. So whatever they're going to call them, man. Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga, I think are all going to be part of this Royal Rumble. And I think Jacob Fatu is going to have the most eliminations. He's going to have the most dominant performance by far. Now let's talk surprise factors or big returns. Aleister Black is somebody that I think is going to return to WWE and be a part of this Royal Rumble. I don't think he's going to come back as Malachi Black. I think he's going to return as Aleister Black. Ethan Page is the NXT superstar I think is going to be in the Royal Rumble. I don't think it's going to be Trick Williams. I think it's going to be Ethan Page because he does also kind of have some type of story with CM Punk. If you watch the Trick Williams and Ethan Page match when CM Punk was the referee. So I think there's going to be some kind of interaction with that in the Royal Rumble. And then Omos. Omos has been doing great things in Japan. If you haven't been watching Pro Wrestling Noah, he's been reinventing himself. He's super over in Japan and he's coming back to WWE. I feel like now he's about to have this new presentation where hopefully he'll be used where I've always felt he could have been used, a long time ago. I think there's going to be more people coming over from the men's side as surprise factors from TNA than the women's side. So I think there are going to be 3 spots that are going to Jeff Hardy, Moose, and Joe Hendry. I feel like, Jeff Hardy is an easy one to give. He's a former WWE superstar, one of the most beloved WWE superstars of all time. He would get a massive pop. I know WWE definitely wanted Moose at one point, and he almost actually signed with WWE a couple years ago, but then re-signed with TNA. So I just feel like he's bound to make an appearance. And then Joe Hendry, they've been talking about that for months before he even became the world champion. So I feel like he's definitely going to be in the Royal Rumble as well. That was fun, man. I'm excited for the Royal Rumble. I can't wait for it. Like I said, I'll be there live in person. I think this is going to be an all-timer just based off how the card is looking right now. I think this has potentially to go down as one of the greatest Royal Rumbles of all time. So hopefully this lives up to the expectations. Please make sure to subscribe as always. And if you want to see more wrestling content, click the video right here. If you want to check out the No Name Wrestling Podcast to see all episodes, you can click the playlist right here.